Not nicely as I could, asked the couples to stop handing out the pamphlets and invited them to come join our young adult Sunday school class. They told me they were on the sidewalk and I couldn't make them leave. I'm a big guy, and my first impulse was to say, "Oh yeah," but the Lord kept me from making a scene. Instead, I again invited them in and told them that I didn't want to call the authorities.
Yes.
As you probably would expect, they left and never came back. I wonder what happened to them and their guru. That church is still there, and a few of the young people who were in the congregation then are now in the ministry. How does Jesus fit into the list of various religious leaders? What sets him apart? Does it matter which leader we follow? Why? Why is it important for followers of Jesus Christ to declare the uniqueness of Christ?
Okay, so what do you think? What do you think about what you just read? And and anybody else who but I want to get it from Yolanda. What you think about what you just read, Yolanda?
In response to the question, Jesus, I believe I know out of all of those that Jesus is the only one that died and came back to life. He's the only one that represents resurrection.
Okay. Anybody else want to add in on that story right there before I move on? Because it's interesting. That's an interesting story because, should it been the pastor's responsibility to go out there on the sidewalk and address them? Let me ask that. Anybody?
My thought is to that question, why not the pastor?
Okay.
He's the leader of the church. However, other members could have addressed it, most likely, if you want to look into like the deacons or somebody from that board may have addressed it. But it says something when the pastor is willing to come out and address the people. And he did it in a way that would not have shunned them, because sometimes members can say things that don't necessarily represent what the pastor is trying to achieve. Ideally, we want the congregation to represent the Bible, but I think it was good that the pastor addressed it.
Good. Anybody else? Anybody else got an input on that? Come on, y'all.
That was very good. That was very
Okay.
good.
Anybody else? My thing is, and I look at that, but my thing is that we should be able to defend, just like when we read the call of on. If the word of God is not in you, then anything allowed to come out of you. So as I read and as I teach the Bible, I teach it and I read it to myself first, right? I mean, I got to be first partaker of it. Then others. Then I do it to others. If we don't know, listen to me and listen to me good. If we don't know error, first of all,